Hey everyone, James, Fit RV, yada yada yada. All right, so today we're working on a project on the chassis battery for Lance, and this is like the third iteration of this thing, so let me give you the whole saga. We have some accessories installed in the chassis of Lance that were draining his chassis battery. That's the vehicle starting battery, which can be a problem, right? So eventually I came up with a way to use a small solar panel to keep his chassis battery charged while in storage. But it required me to hook this shebang up to Lance while he was in storage. It's kind of a pain. So at one point we were visiting Zamp and they said, you know, there's a better way to do this. And so then they got us hooked up with a dual battery charger. So it takes the solar panels that were already on Lance and charges both the chassis and the house battery. Brilliant, I didn't have to do anything. Then we built this carport to cover Lance, and lo and behold, carport, no solar, not good. So now I'm back to this hokey kind of situation here, which works, but it's kind of a pain. So I've got something that's gonna fix this, and we gotta get it done before 10 o'clock because it's gonna get really hot today. So let's go inside and I'll show you what we got. So here's the thing about that carport. It's a very lightweight aluminum structure, and I'm gonna have to be pretty careful when I get up there on it, which meant I didn't want a heavy solar panel. I didn't want to screw through it or anything like that. So we talked to our friends at Zamp, and they have sent us some of these Obsidian panels to try out. Now, the reason we think these are gonna work well is because they're lighter than the regular solar panels, which works well with that lightweight roof. You don't need to mount them, you don't need to screw them in. They've got kind of an aerodynamic profile and you won't have to screw them in. I can mount them with tape, also works well. Now once I get them mounted, I can just use the same port on the side of Lance, the auxiliary solar charge port, and then we'll be using that same dual battery solar charge controller to charge both the chassis and the house battery. Problem solved. Okay, but I actually unpacked all this and then repacked it because I wanted you to see how they pack this, because I was pretty impressed with this. So first, here's the panel, and I don't know if I can actually say this about a solar panel, but this thing is sexy for a solar panel. And look, it's actually rather thin. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty thin there. But what I was really most impressed with, oh, the other thing, look at this. They've got like a fuse and a quick connect on the back, which means you can't hook it up the wrong way. I like that. So, but what I was most impressed about with this is the completeness of the kit. So everything you need was in the kit. And I had to repack all this because I got like, woo, and then I had to repack it all. But look, so you get all the wiring, right? There's two different wires. There's a Y connector to connect them together. Connecting them with a Y will add the amperage, not the voltage, so we're okay. But then the mounting, this is where I just really kind of went off the rails with this. So they include the tape squares. They include a little alcohol wipe to wipe down your surface so you can use the tape squares. And then of course, there's all the bracketing and stuff that you need. So as best as I can tell, I need one 7/16 wrench to install all of this on my carport roof, but we're gonna see, and we gotta get going because it's gonna be like 110 today and I don't wanna be out there at noon. Okay, I've measured between the ribs on the top of that carport and they are 6 inches on center. So what I'm gonna do to make this easier, so I'm not doing so much up there in the air, is I'm gonna try to set these mounting points up here in the shop and then take them up there and then hopefully they just line up. So I'm gonna kind of loosely set them up here. It's pretty easy. You just pop these nuts into the rail like so. And then you're gonna take, where is it, one of these guys, and you're gonna put it on like that, and then you're gonna insert a bolt and a lock washer like so. And this is where you need the 7/16 wrench, and just repeat that. I'm gonna set these up 30 inches apart. Come on, you can get in there. Now these feet will get attached to the roof. And I'm kind of thinking that if I attach the tape down here, then I just have 1/2 of the tape to put up on the roof. That'll be better. I'll just need to leave enough play in these so that I can move them around if they're not in exactly the right place. So I think I'm gonna do that. And there's two sides to this VHB tape. I'm going to leave this bigger tab, the easier one to remove, to do while I'm up there on the roof. So I need to wipe this off. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do down here in the shop before we go up top is to connect some wiring, because I don't want to have to reach around under the panels to try to connect the wiring. And it's like 9 feet long, so we're pretty good there. Now these, they only connect one way, so there's no way you can screw this up. It just clicks together like that. Ta-da, done. Wiring done. Okay, let's go up top. So the first thing I got to do is come up with a way to move around up there safely, and oddly enough I happen to have a large piece of plywood material with carpet backing. I don't even know why I have this, but I did, so I'm going to set it up there and it'll spread my weight around, so hopefully I can move about without causing any damage. Don't try this at home. Yeah. I'm going to try to keep my weight kind of over that support beam as much as I can. Okay. There's lots of creaking going on up here. This is not a happy place. Oh boy, all right. Okay, so I had to remove the mounting feet part. It was just too hard to get them all lined up at the same time. So now one by one, we're going to install the mounting feet with the tape onto the roof. Here's number one. Okay. Here we go with foot number two. There. Okay, they're all in place. Let's tighten it down. All right. Using what I learned from the first panel, I'm not firmly attaching these until I get up there. But we've got 4 feet ready to go, like so. Hook up the wire, and then we're going back up top. Can't mess that up, I love it. All right, let's go. wipe stuff off. All right, let's just tighten these down and then we'll move on to the wiring. One. There we go. All right, let's get down off of here. Okay, so we've got this handy dandy Y connector from Zamp. We're gonna plug these two panels together to combine the wattage coming off of both panels. And then I'm going to just kind of tidy the cabling up here a bit. We have one cable going out. And that's going to run over to the wall and down. Okay. Let's leave that like that for now. All right, so now we're just hooking up this last extension cable. And then let's see how it works. Here's the solar charge controller. And right now we're getting very little. 0 amps to the chassis battery. And let's wait for it to scroll around. 1/10 of an amp to the main house battery, which would not be enough to do anything. So now I'm going to plug it in and we'll see if we see these numbers jump. All right, let's check it. All right, now we've got the panel plugged in, so let's check battery number 2. We're getting 0.8 of an amp, and now remember that second battery bank is only getting 10% of the total charge out of this thing, so 0.8 of an amp, and the main battery is getting 8.5 amps. It's certainly not doing that under the carport on a partly cloudy day on its own, so I think we've got everything hooked up right. We can just let it be. Okay, and there you have it, another project in the bag. My goal was to get done before I died in the sun, and that's going to happen if I stay out here much longer, so we're calling this a success. We are now charging both the house and chassis batteries with solar underneath the carport. James from the Fit RV. See you later. Bye.